Don't we? We certainly have a lot of interesting things on the back end for you today. You guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. I hope everybody had a good Pokemon day yesterday. I ended up doing terrible at locals, but you know, it's okay. It's just Pokemon. It's not very interactive, and we ended up getting the little Pokeball, so that made me really happy from the random giveaway. So, as per every one of these market watches, guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me how you guys' Pokemon day was. I actually want to hear about that. So, what are we dealing with back here? Trident Dragon. Now remember, I don't know where Konami's going to stick a reprint of this. Good news is, probably only need one. Well, you definitely only need one of these. It doesn't really matter like how crazy the price point of this thing. I feel like it's a one of. To be fair, the French one's a little bit expensive there, with an over $80 price point. You got Secret Rares coming at 24s. You got the original Raging Battle coming in at 21. I do probably suspect that we'll see an OTS common / super reprint of this as we get closer to the initial release for this, just because Konami, I think we'll want everybody to get the chance to play this deck. Or, you know, we just don't get the reprint, and I'll be like, hey, we've talked about this for months. If you're planning on playing Tenpai Dragon something, you know, you're going to have to spend the $20+ to have the one extra deck card for your deck. Heatwave, this is the side deck card of choice for this deck. Basically, your opponent, you know, makes you go first. Oh no, the going second deck has to go first. You know, it's a real shame. And then basically, Heatwave gives the deck the chance to do this turn skip motion against the opponent. You know, this also has an alternate art. Well, it has a corrected art where, like, the skeleton's being melted off of the dinosaur here. That's available in Japan. And, of course, I mean, you have the common from, well, short print from the Speed Duel Tournament Pack 5 for $9, but all's well, I guess, that ends well right now. This is very, very expensive, very expensive. Spirit Reapers. Evidently, all copies of Spirit Reaper have reached a terminal mass, from what I've been reading with people. And I kind of see that. To be fair, none of these have sold in like 3 weeks. 440, 450, 440. Get a very light play German for 350, 400 here, 440. Yeah, you're not touching one of these for under 400 anymore, except for the German light play here. That's actually kind of crazy. Well, that's for the supers. Starfoils? Isn't that a Starfoil? Oh yeah, I guess it did. $25. Okay. Golds. Well, these are $3. $3 for the ultras. Wow. Spirit Reaper. Actually, all copies coming in, looks like genuinely about $3, or at least trying to be $3. That's actually kind of crazy, but that's the Edison effect here, where you're seeing something like Ghost or Spirit Reaper here, a very long time, very strong card going up in value. Okay, we've also got Yubel, the loving defender for. I know we watched this card a lot, but this thing is calming down, or at least it's pushing down here. Your quarter century is still 165. That's still high on the pedestal. But meanwhile, you're looking at $17 now for this. There was a point, I remember back in the day when these were $24. It was like last week. Glad to see. And Love Disc is $1.30. But you needed to know that. Samsara D Lotus, yes, the Yubel support back here, coming in at $2. I do see people are trying to bump this back underneath the dollar mark, which personally is a good thing. You know, this card shouldn't have been the craziness that it actually was, but you know, I'm glad to see that we are seeing that retrace of value actually occur here. Good stuff. Opening of the Spirit Gates. You know, still $2. I also want to point out here that the common from the structure deck is worth more than the ultra rare that is the higher rarity upgrade. Just take a moment to think about that for a second here. Like, you have a displacement and crazy higher rarity stuff here, and also this only has 14 listings available right now for it. Like, Sacred Beast structure deck is a wild place. And then Dark Beckoning Beast here, 40 listings versus 15. And same thing here, the Ultra Dark Beckoning Beast is cheaper by a couple of cents than the commons. Like, what causes this to happen? Is it just people look at the low rarity stuff and they're like, ooh, you know, let's start hammering that off of the market? Because that's the way it's starting to look here. People look at the cheap, easy to get stuff and they're just like, this is amazing. This is what you want to see. Okay. Huh. Why do we always look at Opon? Why is this always a highly requested card? I get that people cope on it. They're like, oh, this is so good, but $14 the way it looks here. I'm in at 11s, and I mean, very solidly so. I'll be honest with you, I'm still waiting on Evil Swarm support. Can't really blame me for sitting back here just waiting for the day that we get this, but you're looking at still a very solid price point. Of course, the hidden arsenals. And then, of course, I still like these. The foiling from Duel Saga was a banger. Albion. I see 25, then I see 32. 28, 28, 28. Yeah, it looks like Albion is... you have one listing here that's off the bat crazy, but it looks like you're escalating on up to $29 a piece here, which... and then, yeah, 29 on up to 30 post-tax and shipping. Well then, okay, and of course, branded fusion. I love the ramp up here, where everybody's like, oh my gosh, you know, get your branded fusions, it counters the deck, and it's gone. Like, literally that episode of South Park where people are like, oh no, like, what are we supposed to do to this? I mean, okay, so you're still looking at like 41, 44, 45 here on a ramp up, sure. And I still think that there might be something to the whole, you know, debate of, you know, go give Branded a shot, you know, like, this deck is some secret monster. Unfortunately, I mean, Branded's at 100% minus the Gimmick Puppet trap card, or the Expulsion trap card here in the TCG. But, I mean, even with that being the case, this deck just lacks the necessary oomph kind of close out the game. And it's kind of like my only real major problem with this is just you really lack that push. Rinbroom, the Striking Dragon. Huh, you know, back in my day, this was $8. Now you're at $12.50, $11, $12. And there's still, you guys notice anything here? Where's my verified on the first page here before you hit that $12, $13 mark? Yeah, you don't start hitting this until like $13, and it genuinely escalates on up here. Interesting. This is a wild ride. You guys remember when Jet Synchron was $50? I remember. This is nuts. Like, you can see the change from the 50 on the escalation on up to the 80 to a 104 selling on up to a 105 on up to $130 right now. Like, this is crazy to see this much value being thrown around on this. Ugh. I also want to give a shout out here to Lav Chain. I love making that. If you guys have not decided if you want to pick up some dual terminal versions of this is sitting at like the $35 mark. If there was ever a point that I was considering picking this up, I feel like this is the point. I don't know if we'll ever see this card come back, but you know, it's worth it to talk about. Chimera, the mystical dragon of expensive, or the mystical chimera of expensive. Huh, I love the dip down and then the spin right back up here. Here we go again. Chimera's getting bought out. 75, 80, 89, 91, 95, 103. Well then, I did not expect to see Chimera spinning out of control again. Like, hitting these price points, that's a little bit insane in my opinion. Flaunderies, you know, if you want a Snarl, now's the time to get them for $37. The thing I came here to talk about was N-Pen coming in at 7s and about 8s, actually. You've got 33 listings versus 46. Obviously, Rabina's $2. Deck is budget. You'll see people trying to play this. You have to work your butt off to get wins with this right now, but you've got movements in your Flaunderies cards right now, and people are going to continue to look at this and go, oh, hey, you know, maybe we should be, you know, picking these up for the off chance that we do want to play this stuff. So keep an eye on the Flaunderies good stuff. This is not going to stop anytime soon, I don't think. As long as you've got more budget options available for you, and the meta people are still going to look at this. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you. Chimera!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.